What is up? Goblin Bob here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about some cards from the new Bloomburrow set, mono red cards. Let's get right into it. First on our list we have the Byway Barterer. For 2 in a red we have a creature Raccoon Rogue 3/3 with menace, and whenever you expend 4 you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. You expend 4 as you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn. Now I really like the little flavor text on this one. This trinket has saved my hide more times than I can count. I couldn't possibly let it go for less than, say, 4 acorns. So we have a 3/3 with menace, which will be good and limited. But also when you expend 4 you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. So let's say you're down to 2 cards in hand. They happen to cost 4 mana to cast both of them. Well, you're going to expend 4, and then you're going to just draw 2 cards. Or, if you have some dead cards in hand, you could discard them and draw 2 cards. Next, we have everybody's favorite lizard warlock, the Hearthborn Battler. I don't know if it's actually everyone's favorite, but for 2 in a red, we have a 2/3 creature lizard warlock with haste. And whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Hearthborn Battler deals 2 damage to target opponent. Now what I like about this card is that it's whenever a player casts their second spell each turn. That means including you, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. So you can target whoever you want. I wish it was each opponent, but I understand why it's not. That would be too crazy. But this thing should put in some work when people are casting 2 spells in their turn, or each turn even. Moving on, we've got our favorite lizard mercenary, the Hired Claw. For 1 red, we have a creature lizard mercenary, a 1/2, with whenever you attack with 1 or more lizards, Hired Claw deals 1 damage to target opponent. For 1 in a red, you can put a 1/1 counter on Hired Claw. Activate only if an opponent has lost life this turn, and only once each turn. So what I like about this, we have a 1 cost, 1/2, and whenever you attack with 1 or more lizards, it's going to deal 1 damage to target opponent, including itself attacking. You can also make it bigger with 1/1 counters after the opponent has lost life. Let's say you have out your Hearthborn Battler, you play your Hired Claw, and then another spell. Well, then the Hearthborn Battler is going to deal 2 damage to target opponent. Then you can pay to buff up your Hired Claw with a 1/1 counter. Then you can attack, deal more damage, and continue on to the next turn. On the next turn, you can attack with your Hired Claw, and after the attack trigger, before blocks, activate the 1/1 counter ability to buff him up even bigger. So we have a little lizard tribal here. I like it, and I think for 1 red, this is a good card. But enough about creatures, let's go to a sorcery, the mythic rare, Season of the Bold. For 3 and 2 red, we have a sorcery. Choose up to 5 paw print worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. For 1 paw print, create a tap treasure token. For 2 paw prints, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play them. And for 3 paw prints, until the end of your next turn, whenever you cast a spell, Season of the Bold deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. Now I like spells with different modes because it gives us choices. So if we want to create treasure tokens, we can do that. Of course they're tapped, but that's okay. Or if we want some impulse draw, we can do that. We can do that twice. Exile the top 4 cards of our library. Until the end of our next turn we may play them, and then we can create a tap treasure token as well. Or we can do until the end of our next turn, whenever you cast a spell, Season of the Bold deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. So if we're about to cast a lot of spells, that might be the mode we want to choose. Lastly, we have Valley Rally, which is for 2 in a red, an instant, with Gift of Food. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast this spell. If you do, they create a food token before its other effects. It's an artifact with pay 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. And creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If the gift was promised, target creature you control gains first strike until end of turn. Now what I like about the gift mechanic is that you may promise an opponent a gift, so you don't have to. I think this is a nice little spell, especially for limited format. I think this will be good, maybe even at closing out games or getting your opponents down to low life by buffing your creatures up. And it's an instant, so you can cast it and catch your opponent off guard. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.